Since the OnePlus Open was fully unveiled, I've been doing that thing where I try not to watch too many reviews, too much content, because I don't want to sort of spoil my own opinion. I want to, kind of take things in as I actually have the device in hand. But I also am super curious and I'm seeing things that are making me very, very excited. In this video, I'm going to go over maybe a general idea that is making me very, very excited. You see, I was an avid user of Microsoft's Surface Duo, in this case, Surface Duo 2, and I moved from Duo to what I believed to be the most obvious place to go, which was Google's Pixel Fold. And I do absolutely adore this device. This is a fantastic device in oh so many ways, and it does the split screen multitasking thing about as well as any other device that I have used. But today in this video, I'm going to submit to you that perhaps OnePlus's Open might be the better multitasking device, and it might just end up being the better place for us Surface Duo refugees to go. And to kind of nail all this down, we're going to turn to this thread I made, this Threads thread that I posted. So let's start off talking about the physical perspective of Surface Duo 2 and the OnePlus Open. I don't have mine, obviously, just yet. Hopefully, I will have it in around a week's time or so. I did pay for that faster shipping. Hopefully, that wasn't a waste of time. In this little looping clip here, what you should see is an original Surface Duo, and then via Mr. Ty Nguyen himself, the person who has made the different ROMs, the Android 13, Android 14 ROMs for Surface Duo. I can see that my formatting got weird there. Anyways, they made some scale cutouts. So that's Duo on the bottom. Here is the Pixel Fold, and you can see that the Pixel Fold and Surface Duo, very similar height, but Pixel Fold is more narrow. And here comes a cutout, scale model of the OnePlus Open. As you can see here, it is, again, more narrow than the Pixel Fold and ever so slightly taller. So we're looking at here from that physical perspective, Duo was about 145 millimeters tall. This is about 153. So it's a little bit taller than Duo, but not a huge difference. But it is, again, as you can see here, as this loops, quite a bit more narrow, which should make it a lot easier to use in a one-handed scenario. I can't tell you how many times I was out with this phone, something in my other hand, and you're trying to use this device with one hand. You just really can't do it very easily, and you can't put a grip on it because that's a screen on the other side, right? So this should be a much easier to one-hand device. You can also see that the weight is insane. Duo's 284 grams. It's Duo 2, I should say. Very, very heavy. The Open's only around 240 grams. So again, this should make it a lot easier to one hand, lighter in your pocket, lighter if you're laying in bed using it with one hand, whatever it might be. The thickness of the device, when they're opened up, this is 5.5 millimeters. Open is going to be 5.8 millimeters. So from a physical perspective, no, you're not going to have the super wide displays you may be used to, but I think they're going to be decent enough displays for most Android apps, and I think you're also going to benefit from being much lighter and having a similar thickness. Now, from a software perspective, that is where things begin to get really, really exciting to me. If we take a look at one of Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold devices and we launch an application, let's say now we want to get into split screening. There's a couple of ways we can do this. We can drag an app up off of the taskbar. The OnePlus Open is very similar. There is an app drawer that we can drag things off of. Again, the OnePlus Open is very similar to that as well, but there's a gesture. You can do a two-finger swipe in from the side, and I do this a lot, accidentally do a back gesture, which is why this being on the side doesn't really make sense to me. Let's try this again. And you can do it on the other side. The way is going to work, and then you can simply launch another application, and now you are in your split screening. Now, other than the fact that I wind up accidentally going back a lot of the time whenever I do that, this is something that I think most people would say works pretty well. My biggest problem with this is that an alphabetical app drawer, to me, is not as easy as what I was used to on Surface Duo. That is because on Surface Duo, you launched things automatically in split screen. So if I launch my web browser and I want to launch another app, I just have my home screen. And I don't think I need to tell you this, but your home screen is set up in such a way that you have muscle memory for it. You know where these apps are. You could probably launch them with your eyes closed. This is not the same thing on an alphabetical app drawer. And OnePlus with the Open is doing something that I think is kind of a combination of these two things. It fixes the problems with this and makes it much more similar to this. And you can see what I mean here in this repeating video that I took from a Captain Two Phones Mr. Mobile video. I will drop a link to their full video review in the description down below because it is, as expected, it is a great video review. But let's go into this. What we see here is a single app opened up, and to trigger this same split screening thing, it's a two-finger swipe down from the top. So one, you're not going to get any accidental back gestures. But what it does is it splits it. It parts it like the Red Sea. And what do you have? It's your home screen where you know where all your apps are. He actually clicks on a widget, the calendar widget, and that's what fires up and split screen next to the app they already had open. This is just reasonable. It's logical. And I think that this is a really, really nice implementation. And there are other really nice implementations like this. For instance, with the Pixel Fold, it kind of wants to guess if you have an app open in the main display and you close it, it wants to kind of figure out, do you want that app to continue to that tablet display or not? If it's a media app, it's going to continue playing on the cover display. If it's not, it's probably just going to lock your phone. With this device, any app that's on the screen, when you close it, it gives you a couple seconds to do a swipe up on the cover display to have that task continued. This is just simple. It's reasonable. It makes sense. And there's stuff like this about the OnePlus Open that makes me very, very excited. Now, continuing in this same vein, this time we're going to use a short clip from a Mr. Who's the Boss video review. Again, link to that video in the description. You should go watch them both. They're both excellent videos. We're going to see in this one a really nice implementation, a nice thing added to the taskbar. Not just your pinned apps, not just your recent apps, not just an app drawer, but actually a recent files folder. You can click on that, and as you saw there, it opened up this folder which had a list of recent files on the device. In this case, it was a bunch of photos. And then let's say full screen under this is your text messaging app. You can drag that file down into your message box and send that thing off. Drag it into your email and send it off. It just has your recent files right there, quickly accessible to you. I think this is absolutely brilliant. And as more and more apps support drag and drop in Android, this is only going to make more and more sense. But the biggest feature that I'm the most excited about, another clip from Mr. Who's the Boss review. So again, go watch the review because there's more really interesting stuff in it, is something that OnePlus is calling the Open Canvas. Instead of having an app over here and then two apps on the other side that are really teeny tiny and difficult to use, what they're doing is allowing you to have all these apps sort of doing their own thing, and you can slide them around. They're basically going off the screen, as you can see there. If you want to click on one of those apps, it's going to slide over and push this one off the screen. Then you can properly use that app. You want to go back to the other one? A simple tap and it slides back in. So you're split windowing, but you're also giving them all more space. You're not going to see them all at once. I believe there's like a pinch gesture that will zoom them out with some black bars where they need to be so you can see all the apps at once. But if you want to have them at a more reasonable, more usable size as they were intended to be ran, as you can see here in this looping video, you can do that and you can just quickly be sliding, moving between them. And personally, I see this as being potentially extremely useful. Yes, you can just have two apps side by side. You can have a floating window because there's like 12 different ways to do floating windows in this version of Android. But if you want to do some really intense, like more than two apps, this is going to be, in my opinion, the most advanced way we've ever seen on any Android device to get this done. And I'm just imagining myself different things that I could be doing, how quickly you can be just sliding between these applications, dragging and dropping things between them potentially. This looks incredible. And this looks like, and we've talked about how with Duo, two discrete screens, how do you replicate that kind of productivity with a software or with a bit of software? How do you replicate two physical screens on one screen? Well, maybe you don't. Maybe what you're supposed to be doing is taking that larger canvas and rethinking what you're meant to be doing with it, rethinking what it is to multitask, to quickly switch between tasks, maybe is the more accurate way to describe it. And that's kind of what OnePlus is doing here. Now, obviously, I've not touched this, so I don't know if this is any good or not, and I'm not going to know for another 6, 7, 8, 9 days. And hopefully when I get it, it blows my mind as much as I'm hoping that it's going to. All I can tell you is that this makes sense in my mind. Rather than trying to take Duo and just saying, well, we've got two apps side by side, and it's kind of like having Surface Duo. This is like, again, yeah, you can do that, but let's also totally throw that out. Let's rethink what it is to multitask and try something fresh and new. And I don't know about you guys, but it makes me extremely excited to think about. Now, of course, for other Surface Duo users, there are some problems. No stylus support is a big one for a lot of people. But there's just so many other nice touches like this with the raw power, with the camera, with the RAM, with the processor. That to me, guys, this might be, if you held out, this might be the time to jump off Duo. This might be the phone that makes the most sense going forward. Again, guys, links to both of those videos I talked about in the description down below. I'll try to put them in the pinned comment also if I remember to do that. If you want to purchase the OnePlus Open, there will be a OnePlus store link below and an Amazon link below, which will be an affiliate link, which will help support the channel. If you do indeed choose to use that link, once it appears on Best Buy, there may be an affiliate link for them down there as well. At any rate, guys, thanks for watching. I do love to hear what you guys think about stuff like this, so sound off in the comments down below. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.